separate sections after that: broadcast followed by Sunday, followed by Monday. So I don't know, Becky or Gary, who would like to start the broadcast.
I can start.
Okay.
Okay.
Hi.
You have 13 players away with their national teams, is that right?
Yeah.
An unlucky 13. Anyone come back injured?
No injuries from the players that went for the national team. That is a good sign. Of course, we two of them they just trained this morning. You keep assessing them and to see how they are, but they look in a good shape. Some with long journeys, as you know, is not easy. We had some players playing America, not just Tim Ream, Raul in that area too, and even Ben Leno was with national team in America. But we are assessing them, and let's see the next few days. We have some days to prepare the game.
And I know it's the same for Tottenham, but you know the fact the game is on a Monday night and the players are just arriving back now, is that helpful?
Definitely for us and for Tottenham, I think is a different scenario. Imagine that normally you have this type of games on a Saturday or at least on a Sunday, and it's different. As I said to you, some players they just have trained this morning, and probably this moment we are going to prepare to go to the hotel to play tomorrow, and is what it is. When you have more 2 days to prepare the game, is always a good help. You cannot hide that situation, and as I said, it's for us and for Tottenham.
Because Jurgen Klopp has made the point that Liverpool have played a lot of games, I think twice as many games as any other club in the Premier League, on a Saturday morning after the international break. Can you see his point?
I don't have all the numbers. Of course, Jurgen said that because he has the numbers, he has all the facts in his hands, and of course he is more able to talk about this situation. If you ask me direct, for me, of course, if you have international players that just arrive on a Thursday evening and or to have the first session on the Friday morning, of course, if the game is early Saturday, is always not the best scenario. But what it is, I think, is not. I understand what Jurgen say, and of course, is for the people that is taking care of it to care about the players as well, because at the end everyone wants the players in the best shape and the best physical conditions in the game to don't get injured as well.
Talking about injuries, the problems you had before the international break, let me just get an update on some of those if I can. Adama Traore,
the three players that were involved in the game was Adama, Kenny Tete and Tosin. They still out, the three. Plus Issa Diop that, as you know, last game he got an injury. We are assessing him. Let's see how the things goes in the next few days. But he's going to be out of the game.
He's out of the game.
Issa Diop too, yeah.
Important player for you. You know, as a top coach, you know what progressive carries is. Second in the Premier League for progressive carries. Does that show how important he is?
Firstly, show the way you try to play, how we demand from our central defender in certain moments to do it. Of course, is something that is in our model. Is something that we want and we encourage and we demand from our central defenders when we create the space for them to step in and to carry on the ball, and that is a big part in our game. And of course, this is just reflects what we prepare with them and what we demand from them. And of course, is this there? Could be Tim, of course, and could be Calvin or Tosin if they are on the pitch. In some moments, of course, depending really the approach from the opposition side, what is the side that they want to press more ourselves or not. But it just reflects really what we demand and the way we like to play and the way we build really our attacks in some moments. Yeah.
Earlier this season, you went away to Arsenal and you got a draw. Obviously, a similar challenge on Monday. Is that results that you can build on in the dressing room? Talk to the players about.
They know that we look always for the matches really with the trust and the belief on ourselves, respecting of course Tottenham. Tottenham is doing an amazing start of the season. They are on the top of the table. Is clear why, not just because of the results. Of course, they have to achieve the results to be there, but the way they have been achieving the results is being really good, and we have to say credits to them. Of course, they have had a bad result, if I can say, this season, and was against us in the Carabao Cup. That is the true, of course, at Cottage, and different scenario, different competition as well. They made they have made some changes. We did as well, but the reality that was the one of the competitions that we already played each other, and was a good evening for us in that day. But it's going to be tough playing there. They are in a very good moment. They are the way they have been playing. The connections between them are growing as well, and it's going to be a great challenge for us, as you said, like. When you play at Emirates or another stadium with the teams with that quality is always a great challenge, and he's going to be there for sure. He's going to demand really hard work from ourselves and very good organization, and after the belief and the courage to play our way.
That game and the way they lost, penalty shootout, the emotion of that. Do you think that if you were Ange, would you use that to add emotion, to add desire to the players, like a revenge kind of thing?
I don't think so. Each game is different competition as well. Okay, is a good sign that we played against them, and I think not just because we won in the penalty shootout. I think during the game, I think we deserved to enter in the competition, and we did it very well. But it's a different game, different competition. More games now. They are even in the better moment that they were in that period, and it's going to be different for sure. The game, just the same teams that are going to be on the pitch, but we have the belief, we have the trust. You don't need to see the penalties or like to think in other things, because the ambition and the motivation from our team is really on a high, always to prepare the best we can the games and to go to match and to try to win the game and to get the 3 points.
You know the term Spursy, I'm sure. Sometimes you describe Spurs. Could you start that off on Monday, a Spursy moment?
Let's see. Let's see. We can try to do many things in the game, like Tottenham as well. And of course, the way the game is going to start, sometimes you try to approach the game in one way, and something happen in the first 2, 3, 5, 4 minutes, and of course change completely the way the game was prepared and was planned. Of course, we are going to play there with a clear plan, what we want to do, the way we want to approach in all the moments of the game. But of course, after, depending as well what Tottenham they are going to do, of course we analyze them, what we expect from the game. But in some moments come the quality of the individual players as well on the top. Good is a good example. The way Tottenham won last game away from home, the game was really tight, and in one inspiration moment from Maddison, they decided the game, and they won. Sometimes you prepare everything, the plan is there, but sometimes the individual players, they have to pop up as well and to make the difference. Let's hope we can control well their individual quality, and some of our players, they can pop up and to show the individual quality they have as well.
The world of being an elite senior coach is quite a small world. Did you come across Postecoglou before you?
No. It was the first time 1 month and a half ago when you play. In the Carabao Cup, it's going to be good to see him again. He's doing so well. He's having an impact in Tottenham and in Premier League too, and it's going to be a tough game for us. Again, it's going to be good to see him again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Becky, thanks.
Hang on,
Aye.
just carrying on there about Ange Postecoglou, are you surprised by how well he's taken to being a Premier League manager?
To be honest, no. I think if you look for the last, I'm not saying before that, but the last 2 seasons at Celtic, of course, I know that it's different competition, but here in this country, normally we follow that league too, and of course you can see many similar things that he was doing there, that he's trying to do again in Tottenham, and of course different competition, different players as well. The quality is different, of course. Some of the players for sure they have been enjoying. You can see, you can read it as well. The way the approach and the way he tried to set up his players on the pitch, and of course it's not a surprise. It's not a surprise for us. The quality was there, and of course he's helping the players to improve. It's always the job of the manager. Yeah.
And bringing it back to your squad, the players that haven't been on international duty that you've managed to do some work with, what has been the key message that you've been trying to get across to them?
As you know, of course, we had a very good result for us, an important one before the break. Some days to rest, not many, to be honest. They would like to have more, but it was not a moment to have that, and of course after that, very good work from them. When you stay just with 9 players, because we stay with 9 players, senior 9 players, of course it's not the best number to do. Of course we had some young players to complete the sessions and to have more numbers to do what we wanted to do during that period. And it was a good moment to keep the shape in most of them, to improve the physical condition from others that they needed as well. And they have been working hard. And of course, after the first week, this second week, a little bit longer than normally it is. And it's been good for us to keep working with them, to keep them improving, for them to be able to respond for the tough schedule that we have ahead of us.
Marco, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi Marco. Talking about your last game, obviously there was that really bad injury to Chris Basham, and I just wonder if your players have spoken to you since then, you know, about how that might have affected them at all, that injury.
We have spoken. We spoke after the match straight away. Of course, was really tough to see. Was the worst, and the thinking that in that afternoon, to be honest, of course we had an injury with the Issa Diop as well that everyone was looking that could be serious too, but like that one we cannot compare. That you can feel straight away the reaction from the players that they were around. Timorin is a good example. Basham teammates as well. The reaction, of course, you felt straight away that is something really serious. And this is really tough when you see a professional football player to suffer something like that. Now is a moment for the people around him to support him. For sure they are going to do it, and they are doing already, of course, for him to keep strong. And of course, if you see the way you react in social media and all stuff, shows his character as a professional as well. We are going to see him as soon as he can again on the pitches. That is a good sign. About our players, is a moment no one likes to see, to be involved in that situation, to be around. But the players, they have to keep playing, and it was an important afternoon for us, and they kept the focus on the game, and we won the game.
You mentioned beating Tottenham in the League Cup, which is the only defeat they've suffered this season, but Fulham don't beat Tottenham very often in the league. What do you think will change on Monday? Why do you believe that maybe that might change on Monday?
I always believe, and to be honest, I have to be the first one to believe, to make my players to believe as well, because and this is the way that I see any game and I prepare any game. Of course, we can win, lose or draw the game, but our aim is always, and the way you prepare the games, is try to get the 3 points. And the players, they know already. That is the approach since I joined the football club for any game, and it's going to be the same. Of course, we respect the team that is in the other side. We know the quality they have, how they have been really strong against any team away and home and away from the Tottenham Stadium, and that's it. It's going to be tough, but we have to believe in ourselves, to have the trust in our process, and to keep improving, because the last few games we have been improving in terms of not just results, but in terms of performance as well. And we have to see the same, see positives always, to try to get the results we want.
They're top of the table at the moment. Do you think it's good for the Premier League that there are other teams that are competing for that top spot?
Definitely, of course it is. It's not just, of course, we are talking about Tottenham, that they are on the top of the league, and credits to them, as I said before. It's not a coincidence when you are there, but of course, even if you see around, of course, City, Arsenal, they have been there from last season together too. But if you see there, teams like Villa, Brighton, Newcastle is recovering positions right now, shows how Premier League is really, Liverpool in a good moment too, shows how Premier League is so tough and so competitive, and this is a good sign. I believe that this season is going to be much more competitive. I'm not saying just for the first position, because you see many clubs around, that top clubs with a lot of quality. Last season one of them was Newcastle to get the Champions League spot, and I think in the future we are going to see more, because some clubs they have been really competitive on the pitch and off the pitch in terms of market too, and of course they have conditions to keep improving and to keep fighting for different positions.
And finally, for me, Richarlison is a player you know very well. He seems to have come through a difficult period at Tottenham, unfortunately, because he's now playing quite well. What is he alike as a player to manage, and do you think he is now being managed in the right way by the looks of things?
I cannot talk about if he's how the things going or how they are managing him, because I don't have all the facts. For sure, they are trying to do their best. They are supporting him. I spoke about him when we played in the Carabao Cup, and is what I'm going to say again. He's a top player. He's a top boy, and for a player to achieve what he's been achieving in his football career so far, the quality, the resilience is there. Definitely, we are talking about a player when first came, and I was the responsible for him to come to England when I was in Watford, and after I took him to Everton too. Was a young lad with 21 years old or 20 years old, and now he's already in the club, in a club like Tottenham, national team. I think was the player from Brazil that scored more goals in the last big competition as well. Shows the quality that he has, how much he's been working to achieve the level that he's right now, and of course he's a very good player, and I hope that on next Monday he's not going to be in his best level, because it's going to be a good sign for us.
Lovely, thank you, Marco.
Thanks everyone. That's the broadcast section finished. We'll go to